Students, in this class I would be teaching you how to create multiple objects for a single class. So foremost, let me define this class, student average. So this is the class. I'm going to give a method. So this would calculate the student average. And I'm going to get scores from the user. 2 scores I'm going to get. So I'm going to get mark 1. So now we are going to take in the average. So the average is equal to mark 1 plus mark 2, and it has to be divided by 2. So now I'm printing it. So what I will do now is I will print the student average. I will concatenate by converting the average. So this is a simple program where mark 1 and mark 2 are received and the average is calculated and it's printed. Now in a class probably there might be 20 students or more than 20 students. So we are expected to find the average for all of these 20 students. Let me just create student 1. So student 1 is equal to, I need to use the class student average to create the object. So an object is created here. Now if I were to call the method, it would be student1 dot, I have to call the method student underscore average. So this method is called by this object. Now let me run it and show to you how the result looks. So the score for math say 80, score for history say 90. So the average is 85.0. So that is for one student. Now imagine, as I mentioned to you, we need to find the average of say 20 students. So we need 20 objects to be created. So I need to subsequently create this object for 20 students. So that is possible. So all you need to do is just instantiate these objects. Now just for this illustration, I'm creating 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm creating 10. I'm going to change their numbers. Now I'm changing their numbers. When you run them, you would be able to give the input for all of these objects. So I'm running them. So it says enter the score for math. Say 90, 89. Average is got. Again, it's prompting us enter the score for math. Say 78, 65. The average is 71.5, and again it goes on. Say 66, 77, and it will continue for 10 objects. Now each of these objects are unique. Now how are we to know that it's unique? They are unique if all of these objects occupy different memory locations. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to show to you here the memory locations of these objects. Now instead of calling them so many times, let me just have 3 objects here, and then I would print to you the memory locations of these objects. So to get the memory location of the object, we have a command id of the object student1, and then I'm going to also print the id of object 2 and the ID of object 3. So all these 3 objects, ID are going to be printed. So when I say ID, it means their memory locations is going to be printed. Now whenever an object has an exclusive memory location, it means it is an exclusive object. So when we are printing the student 1 average, we mean that the average obtained is for the student 1. So it's exclusive. So I'm just going to take this off. In fact, I will comment it and I will execute this, and you'll clearly see all of these objects will have an exclusive ID. So let me run it and show it to you. So clearly you can see that the student 1 has got this ID. This is the ID of student 1. This is the ID of student 2, the object, I mean the memory location. So all of these 3 objects have got individual exclusive memory locations. So no 2 objects have got the same memory locations. So that is a very important point to notice here. Now how do I check this? Now I can go a step further and show you how to check it. Now in fact I can question here. Student 1 is student 2. So I'm asking, in fact it's more like a query. I'm asking if student 1 is student 2. The outcome will be a false because student 1 is not equal to student 2. So let me just copy this and post this question again. Print is student 2 is same as student 3. So 2 questions I'm asking here. So clearly you can see that the IDs are printed and the outcome is false. So there is alternatively another way to ask this or to check the IDs of the object. So I'm going to print this. Print student 1 is not student 2. So the obvious answer is going to be true, right? Let me copy this and then print this. Student 2 is not student 3. So these 2 will give me an answer of true, and the former, these 2 will give me an answer of false. So let me show that to you. So clearly you see that the first 2 produces false, the second 2 produces true.